Thank you very much. Welcome. This is our first hybrid village board meeting. And so I first want to thank Cassie Coleman, who is our village high school intern. She is hiding behind the circle that says KS because she's on my laptop. There she is. And she is the reason why we are able to do this, because she helped put this all together. And so there may be some glitches, but I really wanted to provide an opportunity for as many people to engage as possible, and so felt that a hybrid was an important way to go. And just so those who are zooming in know, we have a screen to our left, so when I look this way, I'm looking at you. Because that's how we see the big screen. And the sound is coming through the village audio, not through our individual laptops, but we have the individuals so that you all can see us. So without further ado, I believe we need to have a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Thank you, Brent. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Charlie. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Great. So this is the public hearing for proposed local law number 1. Cannabis law section 131, opting out of licensing and establishing on-site cannabis consumption establishments within the village of Red Hook. I have the law. It's not very long, so I'm actually going to read it. A local law adopted pursuant to Cannabis Law 131, opting out of licensing and establishing on-site cannabis consumption establishments within the village of Red Hook. Section 1, legislative intent. It is the intent of this local law to opt the village of Red Hook out of hosting on-site cannabis consumption establishments within its boundaries. Section 2, authority. This local law is adopted pursuant to Cannabis Law 131, which expressly authorizes cities and villages to opt out of allowing on-site cannabis consumption establishments to locate and operate within their boundaries. Local cannabis on-site consumption opt-out, Section 3. The Board of Trustees of the Village of Red Hook, County of Dutchess, hereby opts out of allowing on-site cannabis consumption establishments from locating and operating within the boundaries of the Village of Red Hook. Section 4, severability. If a court determines that any clause, sentence, paragraph, subdivision, or part of this local law or the application thereof to any person, firm, or corporation or circumstance is invalid or unconstitutional, the court's order or judgment shall not affect, impair, or invalidate the remainder of this local law, but shall be confined in its operation to the clause, sentence, paragraph, subdivision, or part of this local law, or in its application to the person, individual, firm, or corporation, or circumstance directly involved in the controversy in which such judgment or order shall be rendered. Section 5, effective date. This local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. Pursuant to Cannabis Law 131, this local law is subject to a permissive referendum and thus may not be filed with the Secretary of State until the applicable time period has elapsed to file a petition or a referendum has been conducted approving this local law. Sorry for the legalese, but that is the local law that we are discussing in this public hearing. And so with that, is there anyone who would like to speak, make a comment about this law? Anyone on Ring Central? Sorry, it's not Zoom. That's what I'm used to. Is there anyone on Ring Central who would like to make a comment at this public hearing? Give it a minute. No one seems to be waving. All right, well, if anyone comes forth, please raise your hand, or at this point, just unmute yourself and speak. Does anyone on the board have any comments that you would like to add?
Can we get a copy of the local law
Of course.
for our record?
Absolutely. Anybody have any comments or thoughts on the board?
No.
All right, taking that as a no, I'll give one more opportunity for anyone to make a comment relating to this law. Just to be clear, the law that we are discussing in this public hearing is to opt the village out of on-site consumption establishments. And the way the New York State law is written is if we opt out prior to the end of December of this year, we do have the opportunity to opt back in later. My feeling on this law is there's a lot of uncertainty around how this will be, what the rules around it will be, and we have plenty of opportunity to opt back in once the Cannabis Control Board, which is a state board, establishes the rules and regulations around an on-site consumption establishment, which is really a fancy way to say a lounge or a cafe, a place where you can go and consume cannabis or marijuana. So I guess I'll give another opportunity if there's anyone who would like to make a comment as it relates to the this local law.
And I believe we have written or received several written statements in the last month or two about this, pros and cons on both sides, and some duly noted, some read in public, and some requested not to have them read in public. But I think we've heard from a good spectrum of people, both businesses and private residences within the village, in order for us to make an educated and well thought out this decision.
All right, with that, I will take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Charlie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I suppose since no one can see that we're speaking, that was everyone who said aye. So with that, it's not clearly listed on the agenda, but I would like to take this time to make a motion to pass local law number 1, to opt us out of on-site cannabis consumption establishments. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mel Korka. Any further discussion? Hearing none, actually I will do a roll call. Trustee Deputy Mayor Kowalczyk?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kjarval?
Yes.
And Mayor Smythe is a yes also. So we have unanimously passed local law number 1. As an aside, that's my first local law ever passing, so goes in the history books. And I guess I would just like to clarify, I have not proposed a local law to opt out of retail establishments because I feel that we should opt in. And now would be the time to consider that if we are going to. So this is the opportunity for any of you all to bring that up if you would like.
Do you mean board members or?
Board members, yeah. Okay, hearing the crickets, we will, I guess by lack of doing anything, we were opting ourselves into retail establishments. So thank you. And just to acknowledge, there are people who are concerned, and the idea here is not to dismiss anyone's concerns, but I do think that we have an opportunity to, with strong guidelines and strong regulations, I think we have an opportunity to have a retail establishment that it will bring in some revenue to the village, and I think we have an opportunity to be mindful of making sure that it is something that in the end can be a positive for the village. So thank you to everyone who has commented, sent it in their comments, or come to a meeting and commented. All right, on to the next part of the business. Minutes. We have the October 18th Village Board meeting minutes, and we have the October 21st Village Board Workshop meeting minutes. May I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion or questions, issues, amendments? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Now we get to the fun part. We have Ray Toll with our treasurer's report. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn that around and aim it at Ray. There is Ray in the background.
Okay, the treasurer's report for this November 8th meeting. The account balances as of the end of October were as follows. General fund, $929,153.38. The water fund, $200,463.72. Trust and agency, $23,675.46. Petty cash, $14.79. Village green, $4,652.92. Hard scrabble, $3,619.62. Health insurance, $6,584.04. And the sewer fund, $5,453.36. I wanted to just point out here that we received from the EFC, the Environmental Facilities Corporation, for the sewer fund on the 4th of November, $19,543.75. So that fund is now $24,997.11, so we have enough money to pay a number of the invoices related to the sewer fund.
And just to clarify, that monies that we just got from the EFC is to pay for invoices related to the sewer project?
Correct, absolutely.
Thank you.
The reserve checking balances have not changed from the last meeting, which we had only 3 weeks ago. Do you want me to read the numbers into the record in any case, or can we just skip that section?
Unless someone objects, I think we can move on. We have that record. Thank you.
Okay. So the monthly expenses for the month of October, general fund, $185,017.94, and that includes the last bond payment of the 2011 $500,000 bond, and so that is fully paid off, as was the other bond earlier this year.
And the $500,000 bond was for?
I believe that was also for the village hall and
The renovation of the building? Got it.
in
Great.
combination with the other bond, so it's fully paid off.
Super. Thank you.
The water fund, the monthly expenses were $38,118.54. Trust and agency, $1,682. And the sewer fund, $5,661.36. That concludes the treasurer's report for the month of October.
Thank you. Any questions by the board?
What was that number again from the sewer fund? The new balance with the EFC?
The balance is $24,997.11.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ray. Do we need to approve his? We don't need to approve his, no, sorry, thank you. All right, now,
This report.
we do need to approve this report, okay. I think we need a motion to approve this report.
So moved.
Thank you, Brent. Second?
Second?
Thank you, Melcorca. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, now it's my turn, and I'm going to start with a financial item. I just want to say a special shout out and thank you to Linda Keeling, who sent an email to the village. For those of you who are not familiar, the New York State Comptroller, Tom DiNapoli, has an Office of Unclaimed Funds. And Linda noticed that there was something under the name Village of Red Hook. And I have done a little research, and it looks like the village has about $400 coming to it. And so thank you to Linda. And if anyone hasn't heard of this, if you go to the comptroller's website, they have unclaimed funds, and you can look up, you can put your name in and see if you have any if you're listed there. All right, next is the police report. Hang on. And in the month of October, there were 337 incidents, 255 in the village of Red Hook, 77 in the town of Red Hook, and 5 in the village of Tivoli. The uniform traffic tickets, there were a total of 42. 17 of those were in the village of Red Hook, which includes 3 parking tickets, and 25 in the town of Red Hook. There were 3 arrests, 2 in the village of Red Hook and 1 in the town of Red Hook. An additional item as it relates to the police department. Our police department was involved in the vehicle explosion and fire that was on Friday, October 22nd. And pretty much as we speak, the Dutchess County Legislature is providing a commendation to the first responders for the Red Hook fire. And the true first responders were the Red Hook Police Department. And our newest police officer, Morgan Smith, was both on scene and is at the county legislature this evening to receive this commendation from the legislature. And I just want to read a small portion of it. Be it resolved that in light of their exemplary service to Dutchess County, the Dutchess County Legislature does hereby extend its deepest gratitude and thanks to all of the first responders who responded to the recent fire in Red Hook. And be it further resolved that the Dutchess County Legislature, on behalf of all the people of Dutchess County, does hereby commend and congratulate all the first responders for their tradition of prompt, effective emergency response and extends its most sincere appreciation for their efforts and dedication to Dutchess County residents. I would just like to add, on behalf of the village and the town of Red Hook, our thanks to both our police department and our fire department and all the other first responders. The best news out of that is there were no injuries, which, given the potential for injuries, is quite extraordinary. So thank you very much to our first responders, and a special thank you to our village police department. The next item I have is personnel. We have 3 positions open at the moment. One is highway foreman, because our longtime highway foreman, Dan Streeb, 28 years, is retiring at the end of this month. And so even though his shoes are impossible to fill, we do need to find someone to become the highway foreman. And so we are in the process of interviewing for that position. There is a part-time highway position open as well, and also a part-time village clerk position. So if anyone who's interested in any of those, please contact Village Hall. Do it soon, because we're working on all of that right now. And I think that covers what I have. Oh, I just, just to mention Veteran Affairs, I do want to mention that this Thursday is Veterans Day, and there will be a ceremony at Memorial Park that is hosted by the VFW, our very own VFW Post 7765. So please come out and join us in thanking our veterans for their service to our country.
And what time is that?
It's at 6 p.m. Dress warmly. Hoping it's not quite as cold as it's been. All right, with that, well, let's move on to planning and building, and our wonderful acting clerk, Lara Hart, is going to do that.
Yep. So the monthly report for the building department. Building permits issued, 10. Certificates of occupancy, 0. Certificates of compliance, 10. Municipal searches, 6. And there were 10 fire inspections, 2 complaints. Planning board actions. Meeting was held on October 14th. Signage approval was granted to 7381 South Broadway. No ZBA meeting due to no agenda. Monies collected for the month were $3,012.50.
Thank you very much, Lara. I should have also pointed out that we are down a trustee. If anyone is interested in being considered, please reach out to me here at Village Hall, and I would be more than happy to speak with you. Next up, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll start with the Village Green Committee monthly report, current balances of the Village Green Committee's related budget accounts as of October 31st are as follows. Community beautification, we have $4,000. Shade tree contractual, $2,500, and the Village Green checking account balance is $4,652.92. There were no Village Green Committee meetings held during the month of October, and preparations for the 2021 annual Fall Planting Day were underway. Saturday, November 6th, was scheduled for a planting day, and it did happen. And all the volunteers did assemble at the Village Municipal parking lot at 9 o'clock for team assignments and photo ops. And we actually planted 12 trees with 16 volunteers on Saturday, including Trustee Carvel, Mayor Smythe, and Clerk Lara Hart, and myself, of course. So we had quite a turnout, and thank you to all the volunteers. The Tree City USA applications are being prepared. Applications are due by December 31st through the Arbor Day Foundation's portal. And we have several volunteers working on that application now. And residents and businesses interested in having a tree or trees planted on their adjacent village or state road right-of-ways, volunteering for planting days, or making a donation to support the Village Green Committee's various community beautification projects may contact David Pearson, myself, or the village clerk.
And just to clarify, we were split up, so we did not have a quorum on the village, of the village board planting trees.
No, we were very careful. The Village Highway monthly report for October. The Village Highway Department is currently picking up leaves. Leaf pickup will continue to December as weather permits. Please pile leaves curbside for removal. The Highway Department will not pick up leaves mixed with brush due to possible equipment damage. The village's snow ordinance is currently in effect as of November 1st through March 31st. No parking is permitted on village streets from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. and on New York State highways, which is Route 9 or Broadway, and Route 199 or Market Street, from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. during the same period. When snow and or ice removal operations are underway, any vehicle parked or abandoned on any street may be removed by or under the direction of the Red Hook Police Department or any responding law enforcement agencies. Costs associated with vehicle towing and storage will be charged to the vehicle's owners, and the owner and or occupant of every building lot in the village with an adjoining sidewalk shall remove snow and ice within 24 hours of a snowstorm. At the direction of the Village Board of Trustees, the Village Highway Department may remove snow or ice left uncleared at a cost of $2 per linear foot. This cost will be assessed and collected with the next tax levy. Red Hook Village Highway Department Foreman Dan Stribe, as Karen had mentioned, has announced his retirement effective November 29th. Dan has provided over 25 years of service to the village, maintaining, plowing village streets and parking lots, maintaining parks, removing brush and leaves, providing material management services, repairing water, catch basins, sidewalks, and other essential infrastructure, and is taking care of the village building and other structures for the village residents and businesses. Dan will be missed, and his service has been greatly appreciated. The Village Board of Trustees wish him a happy, productive, and much-deserved retirement. And as Karen had mentioned, the village is currently interviewing candidates to replace Dan for the position of Highway Department Foreman. All applications received up to and including November 5th, which is passed, will be reviewed and candidate qualification will be considered. We have had 3 interviews already so far for the position of foreman. Revenue from the sale of scrap metal was received by the village on September 22nd in the amount of $504. Total revenue generated from the sale of scrap metal in fiscal year 2021 and 2022 is $2,289.40. Since inception of the scrap metal recycling program in September of 2007, $38,581.71 has been generated. Proceeds from this program go toward the purchase of tools and equipment for the village highway, water, and materials management departments. Residents and businesses interested in donating scrap metal may contact the village highway department at 845-758-8600 or the village clerk's office. Highway department personnel will assist property owners by picking up scrap metal upon request. And we'll talk more about the proceeds of this program a little later in the meeting. The Red Hook Infrastructure and Inter-Municipal Task Force monthly reports. There is a lot on the sewer project, which I'm going to spare you all and just kind of hit the high points. Meetings were held on October 8th, 15th, and 29th at the Red Hook Village Building via telephone conference call and in person. We had a pre-construction meeting with Carver Construction, who is our prime general contractor. And we looked at some of the outstanding items that we're still waiting to receive. The only one left would be the minority and women-owned business enterprise utilization plan and waivers by the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation. We did, as of the 5th,
This morning.
this
We got it
morning,
this
we
morning.
received the letter of conditions from USDA, so we are set to go. Pending funding agency, this is the EFC. The project is scheduled to start the week of November 15th. I believe our sign will come up during the week of November 8th, which is this week. And we look forward to seeing the sign up and notifying everyone that this project finally is going to be starting. So there was a lot of, on this pre-construction meeting with Carver, a lot of things that we discussed about coordination. Carver Construction is responsible to notify private and public property owners when work will occur on their properties. A list of property addresses in the sewer service area has been provided to Carver by the Village of Red Hook. Carver Construction will provide a continuously updated 2-week schedule of proposed work and specific service area locations. The schedule will be submitted to the Village of Red Hook every Thursday and posted on the village website every Friday. So those people living in the sewer service area will be notified by Carver Construction at least 2 weeks ahead of time when work will be on their property, and that information will also be posted on the village web. They've already done a photo documentation of pre-existing conditions on the sites. October 15th, we had another pre-construction meeting with USDA, Carver Construction, and Sasto Contracting, who are our prime electrical contractors, and also with our engineers. Went over different qualifications and requirements that USDA is expecting of the project. A complete list would be available on our website when these minutes are posted. A lot of stuff. The update on the Red Hook Solar CSA work continues to prune and or replace trees and shrubbery of the vegetative screening surrounding the Red Hook Solar CSA located at the Village Firehouse Lane well fields. Sun Common, LCS Landscaping, Red Hook Town Supervisor Robert McKeon, and Red Hook Village Mayor Karen Smythe are working to resolve issues with the screening. And I believe as of today, we are scheduled to receive 21 new trees.
Yes, I think that was the count as of this morning.
and some new shrubbery, so we're hoping those go in before the winter so they can have a time to develop a root system. The Inter-Municipal Task Force, both Charlie and I represent the village. There were no task force meetings held during the month of October. The Red Hook Town Board is considering proposals from both the Inter-Municipal Task Force and the Red Hook Economic Development Committee regarding short-term rental regulations. Some of the other committees that I sit on, the Town of Red Hook Zoning Review Committee did not meet during the month of October. The Community Preservation Fund Advisory Board also did not meet. The current balance of the Community Preservation Fund as of October 31st is $2,487,860.13. And this keeps going up as real estate transactions rapidly occur in the town of Red Hook. There was no Northern Dutchess Alliance Executive Committee meetings held during the month of October, nor were there any Saltkill Watershed Community monthly or meetings during October. The Town of Red Hook Local Waterfront Revitalization Program Working Group monthly report. The LWRP Working Group presented via Zoom the proposed amendments of the Town of Red Hook Local Waterfront Revitalization Plan to the Town Board on October 27th. Copies of the proposed amendments and maps are available for public review at the Red Hook Town Hall, Red Hook Public Library, and the Tivoli Free Library. A survey requesting input and suggestions to be considered by the working group, including active and passive recreational amenities on the Hudson River waterfront, upgrades regarding visual and/or visual access to facilities and infrastructure, access to the river, additional inventory and analysis information, and additional resources for the LWRP working group to consider is currently available to the public online. I guess this could be posted on our website too for village residents to look at. The next step for the LWRP working group to resolve and amend include the policies, harbor management plan, and projects. The Village of Red Hook Zoning Review Committee, both Karen and I sit on that. A meeting was held via telephone conference call and in person at the Village Building on October 8th with our land use attorney, Victoria Polidoro, Rodenhouse and Shaw, and Polidoro. And we will be later setting a date for a public hearing regarding seeker determination and submit amendments of the Red Hook Village zoning law and official zoning map to the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development for review, and prepare a negative declaration, part of the seeker, the EAF Part 2, for actions regarding the Red Hook Village zoning law and official maps. So I believe the law will also be posted, and the amendments to the law and the amendments to the map on the village website as well. There's quite a few different amendments that we're proposing, including accessory dwelling units and accessory buildings for all village districts, accessory dwelling units and accessory buildings for all zoning districts, apartments, multifamily dwelling units in the general business district and gateway business district, definitions for single-family, two-family dwellings in R10,000 and R20,000, regulations for studio, one-bedroom, two-bedroom, and three-bedroom dwelling units in the general business, the gateway business districts, deletion of the highway business district and replacing with standards for the gateway business district, use in bulk regulations of the gateway business district, special permitted uses for live-work units for properties located on East Market Street that are also in the sewer service area, including a definition for live-work units. We're adding shed bulk regulations to the R10,000 and R20,000 districts, and amending the official zoning map of the Village of Red Hook to add 8 properties currently in the R10,000 district on South Broadway and 5th Street to the neighborhood mixed-use district, and adding 1 property currently in the R10,000 district on East Market Street to the proposed gateway business district. And that is it.
Really? That's all? Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Trustee Lang?
Yes, Mayor.
Bring your microphone closer to you, please.
Right, or I'll get closer.
Or
to
bring
my
your,
phone.
yeah, there you go. Either way.
So I have just a couple of reports. The materials management report for the month of October. We collected 1.06 tons of commingled, 0.46 tons of cardboard, 1.13 tons of paper, for a total of 2.65 tons of recycling. And we also collected and disposed of 8.32 tons of garbage and generated $3,069 in tags that were sold across the month. Unfortunately, there was another small charge for contaminated recycling last month. I mean, only $5.52, but it does mean that there was some contamination of the recycling that went to the recycling center, and I think maybe in your next monthly newsletter or something we could put in a reminder, just try and remind people that the recycling needs to be clean, it needs to be the right kind of recycling, it needs to not include pizza boxes.
Do we, do we know what caused the contamination?
We don't. I mean, I don't get that in the reports from the Ulster County Recycling. But I was going to ask and see if we could get a little more details on what was triggering that contamination.
Maybe the highway department might know that when they drop it off. But yeah, if you want to give me some language, if you think pizza boxes are the,
Who knows?
Biggest,
they're an easy
culprit.
but could be anything.
okay, but I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, let's try and figure that out.
Great.
Because it's an annoying, small but extra expense to us, and it'd be nice to not have that.
It can be confusing as to what is okay and what's not.
Yeah. A little reminder every now and again is a good idea. And then I also have the Red Hook Water Treatment Facilities monthly report for the month of October. And the water treatment facility treated 8,868,000 total gallons, which is an average of 286,100 gallons per day, which is very similar to last month, and hopefully it's actually ever so slightly less than last month, and we're seeing a sort of leveling out of the usage and the treated volume. So that looks okay. All 4 bacteriological samples for the month that were collected and tested came back absent for coliform and E. coli. That's always positive. And during the month of October, the water treatment plant used 95 gallons of sodium hypochlorite, which comes to an average daily use of 3.06 gallons per day. So no great surprises there for last month. We still have a few outstanding water system issues and deficiencies which we are working on or need to work on. And then some issues and some maintenance needs for the wastewater system. But I don't see anything particularly new here.
I can report that as it relates to the water system, we are in the process of putting in a WIA grant for several of these items. For example, the town-village interconnect, that fix is not cheap, for example.
Right.
And this was approved as an action 2 years ago. And so we are working with Delaware Engineering to put that grant in. And should we receive it, we will be in a position to take care of several of these. And we are working with C3ND to get some pricing on the sewer upgrades that are required. So hopefully by next month, we will have some detail on what the costs are of those.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thank you very much. Trustee Curaval,
Just going to move the microphone closer because
thank you.
sometimes I'm too quiet. So Red Hook Together's meeting was held on the afternoon of November 4th. The theme was called Red Hook's Reputation. Participants were encouraged to consider, what is Red Hook's reputation? What do you want it to be, and how can we work towards this? Discussion points ranged from positive attributes such as our rural character, community values, educational excellence, and forward-thinking environmental and conservation policies. The later discussion points touched on ways we can be more welcoming and inclusive. The Town Economic Development Council. The EDC has moved their now weekly meetings back to the Zoom platform. This week, they began to review the current Town of Red Hook's comprehensive plan. This past Wednesday, on November 3rd, the discussion focused primarily on the ways in which the local agricultural industry has changed since the plan was adopted in 1993. Village of Red Hook Human Relations Committee. The Human Relations Committee met on the evening of November 4th over Zoom. We discussed and approved our website copy, as well as an initial policy for the committee. We also reviewed a resident's application to join the committee. The applicant will be invited to the next monthly committee meeting so that she can observe a meeting and introduce herself. We also discussed the PSAB training that 3 of the committee members attended, as well as reviewing the community survey results. The Village of Red Hook Hardscrabble/Events Committee. The Events Committee regrettably had to cancel the Halloween Parade and Costume Carnival due to an inclement weather forecast. Apologies. We are happy to report that the cider and donuts purchased by the Ulster Savings Bank were distributed to the trick-or-treaters at the VFW's Trunk or Treat event on Sunday. We thank Ulster Savings Bank for being a generous community sponsor. We are now looking forward to celebrating our small businesses and our lovely downtown during the winter season. We will be looking for volunteers to deck the streets with lights ahead of the Small Business Saturday. If you're looking to volunteer, please contact Event Chair Amy at redhooklibrary.org. The Village of Red Hook Public Spaces Initiative Committee, nothing to report at this time. Red Hook Public Library Report. Due to scheduling issues, the Red Hook Public Library has moved its committee sampler program to November 13th at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on the library lawn. All of our village's committees will be featured. The public is invited to come to the committee sampler and to meet heads and chairs of committees on the village level. Learn about the committee's missions, the time commitment necessary, and how to get involved. And I forgot to write a report on the Communications Committee.
Oh, yes, you did.
And since we both serve on it, do you want to talk about some of the fun things that we accomplished this month?
How about if I start it and you can finish? Because I had a note to talk about, I'll start with the monthly newsletter, which we have about 350 emails that we have pulled together from various places, and we would love to have more people sign up. It is a monthly emailed newsletter that will include important information about the village, what's happening. It'll have some fun features. For example, the very first inaugural newsletter went out on Friday, and it included some pictures from Hardscrabble Day. It also included a picture of our police body cameras, as well as a picture from the swearing in of our new Associate Judge Tom Mansfield, as well as some information about recycling. It's got a link to the recycling calendar, as well as leaf pickup, brush pickup, things like that. So encourage you to go to the website, which is redhookvillage.org, and sign up for the e-newsletter. Plan to do it at the beginning of every month, and always happy also to take ideas that we can include. So that is super exciting. I will say that the reason why this newsletter actually was had looked very nice and got out is because of our BARD intern, Eve Campbell. And then separately, Melcorca has been working incredibly hard on our website. We have a good sort of structure to our website, but there was an awful lot of information that never quite made it over to the new website when it was changed several years ago. And so Melcorca has been going through all of the content and also thinking about a logical organization of all of that content in conjunction with our other BARD intern, Cam Evans. And so there's quite a bit of updated items on the website, so encourage you to go check out our website, and while you're there, you can sign up for the e-newsletter. I think that, did I cover it? Was there anything
You
else?
covered it, and also if people want to look up how to not contaminate their garbage, there is a link to a flyer that you can print out about all the different things that you can recycle and how to do it best, so.
Great. That also reminds me, on the website, there is also an opportunity to sign up for specific alerts. So for example, we have emergency alerts, general information around when the agenda is posted for the village meeting, as well as planning board, zoning board, things of that nature. So you can sign up for all of it if you'd like. But really, this is in an effort to communication and getting information out to people is, I think, a constant, it requires constant effort and focus, and we are just trying to update ways that we reach out. I will add that the monthly newsletter, the November one, we printed out and posted on the bulletin board at Red Hook Commons. And so again, if anyone knows of a good bulletin board that it would make sense to post the e-newsletter, we can always print out an extra copy and put it there. We probably should put one in the info center, would probably be another possibility. But that's, and I just give a huge thank you to our two BARD interns, to Cam and Eve, as well as a huge thank you to Melcorca, because she has put an enormous amount of work into this effort. When it looks simple is usually a clue that there's been a fair amount of work that went in behind it. So thank you very, very much. I think that's it for departments and committee reports. Now we get to some regular business items. The first one on the agenda is the Highway Department. We have approved the acquisition of an enclosed trailer for the Highway Department. And for those of you who haven't been trying to find vehicles, it is a very difficult market. And the vehicle that we thought we were getting in October probably is another couple of months away, and the price is no longer guaranteed. And indication is it will be significantly higher. We had approved, well, rather than go into the detail, let me pass it over to Deputy Mayor Kowalczyk, who has the details.
All right, so we did approve the acquisition of the trailer at our meeting on July 12, 2021. The total funding package that we had approved was not to exceed $8,500. As Mayor Smythe had indicated, the trailer was on order, and reading the fine print of the estimate, the price was only guaranteed for 24 hours. So we were stuck with a position to possibly look for a new trailer. We did find a trailer, 16-foot by 8'6" trailer that would hold pumps for the sewer, valves, replacement parts on the road when they're doing work on our infrastructure. So instead of coming back to the garage to pick up equipment and parts, they would all be in hand. And this may become very effective during an emergency at 3 in the morning when we're ready to roll out as soon as possible. So the new trailer that we've located is available to us at a price of $10,900. Since we've already approved $8,500, and this is from the CHIPS, Consolidated Highway Improvement Program allocation, which currently has a balance of $35,113.90. would like to propose that we increase that $8,500 to $9,500. Also from the chips, and then money from the scrap metal, which we've accumulated, currently the balance of that, and we just did get a check recently of $581, which brings our balance currently in the sale of scrap metal revenue account. That's 82650 to $2,870.40. To take $2,000 of that and apply it toward the balance. So what we're asking for, even though the trailer is $10,900, we'd be asking for an allocation of $11,500 just in case. Not saying we have to use all that, and that's where we stand. So the dealer can hold our trailer at that price, and it is available on the lot until tomorrow. And so we have to make a decision if we would like to increase the revenue that we're deducting, or actually the expenditure from the chips, up by $1,000, and then also take money from the scrap metal account, which is set up to buy tools and equipment for highway, water, and materials management departments, and apply that toward the balance of the trailer.
Would you like to make a motion that we do that?
I would like to make a motion that we increase the funds that we are using for the expenditure of the trailer from $8,500 to $9,500, and then supplement that with $2,000 from the scrap metal expenditure, line item 5110.47, bringing the total expenditure for the trailer of $11,500, and also notifying Dan Stribe that either the board has approved the expenditure of that money, and a check could be available as early as tomorrow morning. Do I-
And I would be happy to second that motion. Any discussion, questions?
Just that, Brent, you recommend this, right?
Yes.
All right, with that, all in favor, let's do a roll call. Deputy Mayor Kowalczyk?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kjarval?
Yes.
And I am also a yes. All right.
Thank you.
And then the next item is proposed zoning amendments. Brent, do you want to cover that one as well?
Yes. We've been working on proposed zoning amendments for quite some time, and also amendments to the map. I think I went through that in my monthly report. We have currently a draft local law, which is a local law to amend the official zoning map of the Village of Red Hook, create the Gateway Business District, and make other associated changes. And the law would be available, I believe, online. It's quite long, and I think I did cover it in like I said, in my monthly report. And I've been covering, I think, for the last year or so. We also have a revised official zoning map of the Village of Red Hook that shows the creation of the Gateway Business District to replace the current Highway Business District with the addition of one property. It also shows the addition of 8 additional properties in the Neighborhood Mixed Use District, for 7 properties located on South Broadway and 1 property additional on 5th Street, Elizabeth Street. It's actually where Red Hook Engineering and Architecture is, across from the chocolate factory. And with also the additions of live-work units for those properties in the sewer service area on East Market Street, shed regulations, which are sorely needed, and amended provisions for accessory dwelling units and accessory buildings. And so again, like I said, the law would be spelled out. And I believe we're trying to set a public hearing, to establish a date for the public hearing for the seeker. With this also comes the seeker documentation. This is the full environmental assessment form, Part 1, and I believe Part 2 is also included, and this will be the reason for our public hearing on the date that we set.
I guess my question, I mean, there has been a lot of work done on it. We just forwarded it to our building planning department for their review. The public hearing is for the seeker declaration, correct? But it's also an opportunity for people to comment on the law itself, correct?
Right.
To me, the only question is, are we ready to have that public hearing on December 6th? Or do we want to set the public hearing at the next meeting for the January meeting? There is time for folks to review. I think we would need to put it up on the website. Do we want to have the internal review first? That's really the only question that I have. I mean, I know this has been being worked on. There's important and good changes in here that are much needed. Do you have a thought on that, Brent?
We could probably have internal review prior to posting on the website, make sure there's any changes, but
Do you think we can do that? I think all we need to do is notice the public hearing, and then we probably need to give people a chance to review. The other opportunity is we have the public hearing on December 6th, and should we feel there's a need, we could extend that public hearing to the January meeting as well.
that's correct.
So perhaps that's the right way to do that, is to have the public hearing. And if we are generating a lot of interest, questions, and feel a need to extend it to January, we can do that.
Karen, just a point of clarification here.
Yes,
December the 6th, are you talking about the next board meeting?
yes.
It's not until the 13th?
We actually changed the date, yes, to the 6th. You are correct that normally it would be December 13th. I am going to be away, and my fellow trustees were kind enough to shift the meeting to accommodate my being away. So thank you. Thank you for bringing that up or pointing that out. Do you guys have any thoughts on,
I think having having two meetings where people could talk about this would be good, because it's kind of a big change.
that is true.
So I agree with that.
So set the date for this 6th, and if necessary, extend it for another month to the January meeting.
Yeah, I would agree with that, or have it in January to give people more time, being that we're kind of the 6th is not that far away for people to review or to get out there.
Right.
So you want to just do it for January then? And give everybody enough time?
Does anyone else have any? I mean,
I think it has been in the works and been worked on for a very long time. And I mean, I think if we have it, a session in December, and, have the option to extend it, if there is interest or questions that people need more time to look into. I think that works.
Sorry, I'm just making a note that I can include an item in the December newsletter on the
Great.
the zoning changes. All right, well, then I need a motion to set a public hearing for December 6th for the proposed, for the seeker designation for the proposed law amending the zoning regulations.
Did you want to read the resolution?
Oh, yes, of course I want to read that. That would require me to have it be the resolution in front of me. Resolution establishing a date for a public hearing regarding a local law to amend the official zoning map of the Village of Red Hook, create the Great Gateway Business District, and make other associated changes. Whereas a proposed form of a local law entitled A Local Law to Amend the Official Zoning Map of the Village of Red Hook, create the Gateway Business District, and make other associated changes, has been submitted to the Village Board of Trustees of the Village of Red Hook. And whereas the proposed local law would modify certain provisions of the zoning law, whereas pursuant to Section 239M of the General Municipal Law, proposed amendments to the zoning law must be referred to the Department of Planning and Development for its review and report thereon. Whereas a full environmental assessment form dated November 8, 2021, has been prepared on behalf of the board, and whereas in accordance with the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA, the board is required to determine the classification of the proposed project, and now therefore be it resolved by the board as follows. 1, the adoption of a proposed local law is a type 1 action under SECRA. The mayor is authorized to sign page 13 of the EAF. The board is the only involved agency under SECRA. The board shall hold a public hearing on December 6th, 2021 at 7 p.m. at the Village Hall, 7467 South Broadway, to hear all interested parties on said proposed local law. And the village clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish notice of said public hearing in the official newspapers of the village on or before, do you know what day that would be? It's supposed to be 10 days before, correct? On or before November 25th, which is Thanksgiving. So how about on or before the 24th? Which is not less than 10 calendar days prior to the date of said public hearing. The village clerk is hereby authorized and directed to send a copy of the proposed local law together with a copy of the EAF to the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development for a report and recommendation thereon pursuant to Section 239M of the General Municipal Law. The village clerk is hereby authorized and directed to send a copy of the proposed local law to the planning board for a report and recommendation thereon to be provided within 30 days of the referral. The village clerk is hereby authorized and directed to send a copy of the public hearing notice to the clerks of the adjacent municipalities. And then there's a certificate of recording officer. I don't think I need to read that. Do I? I don't think so. So that is the resolution that we would need to pass in order to set the public hearing.
And the resolution number is,
Do you need that right now? I can go get it.
yeah, I think we need to put that in.
Okay, so we are determining what the next next resolution number is. I do not. So while Lara is doing that, why don't we take a pause and go to the next item, unless you all have any further questions or issues related to the zoning amendment resolution.
Just that if I would like to post it on the website, so I'll work
Yes.
with Laura to do that.
Yes, that would be great to post that on the website. So in the meantime, then let me move on to the firehouse request, or the fire company request. The Red Hook Fire Company is looking to update their heating system. And just to clarify, the Red Hook Fire Company, their fire company building is they lease the property from the village. And of course, Laura is quick. And so she is back, so let me put that back aside.
19?
Resolution number 19?
Yes.
Okay. So sorry about that. We are going back to the resolution regarding the amendments to the zoning amendments. May I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, Deputy Mayor Kowalczyk,
Aye.
Trustee Lang,
Aye.
Trustee Kjarval.
Aye.
Mayor Smythe says yes. Okay, so we have passed this resolution. I just want to say thank you to Brent and many others who have spent a lot of time on this zoning work, and it's exciting to get to this point in the process. Okay, with that done, we can now shift our heads to the Red Hook Fire Company. And so just to clarify, the Red Hook Fire Company leases the property on which they have their building. When they make any material changes, they are required to get permission from the owner of the property, which would be the village. And so the Red Hook Fire Company is looking to update their heating system. They're looking to replace the fuel oil-fired boiler and water heater with a propane-fired boiler. The plan is to install an underground 1,000-gallon propane tank on the property. They're looking at two possible locations, one on the north side of the building, between the building and the sidewalk on M.M. Ham Memorial Firehouse Lane. The other option is on the east side of the building, between the firehouse and the village garage/maintenance building. They are requesting our permission to install the underground tank on the property following NFPA and building code requirements. They have already gotten multiple quotes for the boiler installation and need approval before they can sign any contracts and proceed with building permit applications and other work. With this approval, they will be able to remove the above-ground fuel oil tanks that are in the building. Those tanks have been a concern of the village in past meetings because of their proximity to the well in the parking lot. And so in order for them to do that, I don't have any further information. I assume that their current system is not satisfying, and this would be an opportunity to improve their heating system.
Has there been any, as far as filing for the permit, has our CEO looked at any possible ramifications of burying propane tanks near the well fields?
Nothing's been received yet.
Okay.
Clark did say that he would need. Nothing's been received yet.
Okay, thank you.
And they would not be able to proceed without the building permit and approval.
The old tanks were propane or the old tanks were oil?
The old tanks are oil.
Okay.
And they were above ground, right?
They're in the building, yeah.
Yeah, I'm only concerned if the CEO approves that for, burying the propane tanks, then I'm sure it's just a formality, but I would like to make sure that it's safe for the drinking water supply.
Would you be open to making a motion to provide authorization, provided there is approval from the CEO that it is safe for the wells, for our drinking water, where the buried tank are located?
Right, with a successful application and an approval for a building permit, right?
And you're okay with making that motion?
Yep.
Okay. Would someone like to second that motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, thanks, Charlie. Any other questions or discussion? All right, let's take a vote. Deputy Mayor Kowalczyk,
Yes?
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
Trustee Caraval,
Yes.
and I say yes as well. All right, so I will share that with we will share that with the fire department. They will be grateful for the permission. Any other, that's what I had on the regular business. Any other general business from trustees? Okay, not seeing any. This is an opportunity for public comment. Is there anyone who would like to make a public comment?
Hi. Hi, everybody. So this is Bailey Williams. Is it okay if I?
Yes, hi Bailey. We are still working on the details of hybrid meeting. If I can just ask you to speak up.
Sure. Is this better?
That's better for me.
Okay. So yes, this is Bailey Williams. I live in the village, and I was just checking in. I heard the updates about the website, so that was very helpful. I was just wondering if it was possible to get the minutes posted on the website, or when that estimate is for when it can start to happen.
Yes, it is possible to get the minutes up on the website. Melkorka, where are we on? We have some up?
We have some up. We've been trying to locate the final digital versions of minutes.
Right.
We know how to put them up. We just have to find the digital versions that are the final minutes, and that's,
I do have paper copies if you're interested of everything for,
yeah, it's just each one you have to scan 30 pages then. That's a lot, and then it's not as accessible for people that are using.
But if we got, then we could have Cam do that on Wednesday as a possibility.
Sure.
Cam is our intern. So Bailey, thank you for asking. We appreciate that, and we are working on it, and we will get the minutes up onto the website. I'm not going to put a date on it, but soon.
Oh, great, thank you. And then I just had a second question that might be answered once the minutes are posted. I just was wondering about the police reform plan and the 6-month data that would be released. I'm just wondering if that would be released soon or if it's already been released.
And Ed, can you, I'm not as intimately familiar with the police reform plan as I should be. What is the data that you're looking for?
It says under what's the new, under one section, that there'd be 6 months data on demographics of arrests. And it's like a paragraph. I want to say it's like the first or second point.
Got it. I have the report on my desk. I will look at it. I will need to get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. I will also say we are working on the police website section. The police department had put together a whole website, and somehow it got lost in the ether. So we are recreating their website, and we hope to get that live, perhaps, hopefully by the next meeting. Perhaps. But we are definitely working on that, so thank you.
Yeah, those are important points. Thank you, Bailey.
Any other public comments? Okay, I'm not hearing any. We do not have any executive session. I do not have any executive session items. Does anyone else have anything? Okay. And then just prior to adjourning the meeting, I have to say I think that this hybrid seemed to actually work okay. It's not perfect, but it enabled some people to participate who might not have attended otherwise. So again, thank you, Cassie, for both making this happen and monitoring the machine. We are currently using Ring Central because at the beginning of the pandemic, in conjunction with Red Hook Responds, we were both using Ring Central. As Red Hook Responds is transitioning into an ongoing nonprofit, they are continuing on with Ring Central because it has a lot of features that they use very actively. For us, really all we need is for lack of a better term, a Zoom function. And so since most people are used to using Zoom for these, we as a village are going to switch to Zoom in January. So the next one will be Ring Central, but in January we will switch over to Zoom. So apologies to everyone who's been downloading Ring Central in order to get here. But we will transition in 2022 to the Zoom format. And is there any other business for anybody? Seeing none, perhaps Deputy Mayor has a motion?
I can make a motion that we adjourn this evening's meeting.
Oh, yes, sorry. Very important. This is why Ray stays. Before we do that, we need a motion to pay the bills after, I will make a motion to pay the bills after audit. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We will be having a workshop meeting for November, which is is it this Friday, Thursday? No, so the November Village Workshop meeting is on the 18th, which is a week and a half from now. And then the question is, I would propose that we cancel the workshop meeting in December, which is currently scheduled for the 16th. I will be away. I don't know that we have any, January, we will need to jump into the budget quickly. But if you're okay with, are you all right with canceling the workshop meeting in December? Do I need a motion do I need to officially do that? No, okay. So we will cancel the December one, but we will have the November one. Okay, now we can undertake that final motion.
I would like to reiterate my motion to adjourn this evening's meeting.
And did I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. We are adjourned.